Welcome to this video. My name is Simone Brown, and I am an English language specialist and cross-cultural communications coach for IMGs since 2019. And I'm going to be sharing with you the discussion that we had recently with five fantastic IMGs, fellow IMGs, who have been through the same journey as you have been. They range from PGY1s all the way through chief residents in their PGY 4 year. So I know that they are going to have some very valuable information for you as you proceed through the match. And so the title of this panel discussion is Navigating Match Results, Coping, Celebrating, and Moving Forward. And so I decided to host this panel discussion because it's almost match week. It's coming up soon. And I wanted to do something to encourage IMGs that are going through this process. But also, I know this is valuable information. Many of the things that we talked about tonight are valuable information, no matter what stage that you're in, whether you are in the preparation stage, just trying to gather U.S. clinical experience or your paperwork. Maybe you are in the application stage where you are actively applying for a residency. Maybe you're in the interview stage and you're going through interviews or you're waiting for invitations, or maybe you've already matched and you're kind of thinking towards the future and being ready for residency. I think that we have some things for you no matter what stage you're in. So let's proceed. So it's like I said, it's designed to provide insights, strategies, and a sense of community for international medical graduates navigating the residency match process. And no matter where you are in the process, this is going to help you. Just to know that we're here to support you with tools, resources, and encouragement to thrive, no matter what the outcome of your match season is, no matter the outcome of match week. So here's the agenda. So first, I'm going to introduce the panelists, and then we're going to have a discussion about stress management before the match, coping with the SOAP interview process, what to do if you don't match, what to do if you do match, and also match 2026 for first timers, or just the match process for first timers, no matter when you watch this video. I'll also be telling you a little bit about some free resources from the IMG Match Success, which I'm the founder of, and then we'll proceed from there. So a little bit about me. My name is Simone Brown, like I said before. I am the founder of the IMG Match Success Hub. It's a mentoring and empowering IMGs for their residency journey, and not just matching, but beyond. I work with present day residents as well. I have over a decade of experiencing helping IMGs succeed with personal statement reviews, interview preparation, and cross-cultural communication. And I know it says a decade there. I have decades of teaching experience, but I have been working with IMG since 2019, just to be very clear about that. I'm also passionate about building a supportive IMG community. I'm a big supporter of Project IMG, one of their Patreons. And a little bit about me, I am a frequent traveler. My husband and I like to travel around this beautiful country in our little RV, and I love looking at birds. So if you ever see any videos with me in them, you'll notice that I probably have some earrings with birds on them. That's just kind of my thing. So let's see what we want to accomplish tonight: provide guidance and strategies for navigating the residency match process, to build a supportive community for IMGs during this challenging time and stressful, and to share insights and practical advice from experienced panelists. So now I'm going to introduce the panelists and give them a little time to talk, and then we'll go on through each of the three sections. I'm looking forward to it. Now, the first panelist is Carlos Espiche. He's an internal medicine doctor and with expertise in cardiology and medical education. He's a chief medical resident at SBH. Anybody know what that is? In the Bronx. He has 100 residents. He's involved in research in cardiovascular technology and imaging. He's done community lectures in Latino health. He's from Lima, Peru. And his answers are recorded because he's being inducted tonight into the Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Honor Society. So we came on a couple of days ago. And so I am going to stop sharing there and let's see if I can get this together.
Hi, I'm Carlos. I'm IMG from Peru. I'm currently a PGY3 of internal medicine and chief medical resident in the Bronx, in San Barnabas Hospital. I did some years of hospitalism in Peru. I did some experience in medical education. I had some experience in medical education. Currently working with CUNY, with the City University of New York, doing some research also in Montefiore Medical Center and also in CUNY. It's really nice to be here, and I'm glad to be next to all the other panelists.
Joy Asaji. She is a psychiatry resident and chief resident at the Texas Tech University Health Science Center in Lubbock, Texas. And she mentors IMGs on residency applications, interviews, and cultural adaptation. She advocates for resident wellness. See? And cross-cultural understanding. She's originally from Nigeria. She graduated from the University of Jos. She's the proud mother of two boys, and we worked together for Match 2021, right, Joy? Is that right?
Yes. 2020 to 21, yes. That 21, yes, that's correct. Yes.
Awesome. All
Yes.
right. So tell us a little bit more about yourself. I'm
Yes.
just
So currently I'm in Lubbock, Texas. I'm one of the chief residents in my program in Texas Tech, and I'll be graduating in June. I'm really excited to be here today, and I've gone on this journey with all of you. So I'm here with you in spirit, in person. Feel free to ask questions, and then we'll walk you through. We started this same journey, like writing the exams, going through the interview process, succeeding, and sometimes also failing along the journey. So we're here to just provide you support to help you on your next journey. Nice to meet you all.
nice. Okay, let's see. Next. I'm amazing myself. It's very short here because I don't know Della. You can introduce yourself, Della. She's a PGY4 psychiatry resident at Meharry Medical College. I guess that's in Nashville, and she's serving as the chief resident. I think I misspelled that. Okay.
All right, thank you, Ms. Brown. So when you do a last minute check, that's what you get, right? You get a brief response. All right, so my name is Della Modi. I am a psychiatry resident, PGY4, current chief resident, and also APA SAMHSA fellow. I am glad to be here. Originally, I'm from Nigeria. I did some years of primary care, so I was a family medicine physician. So migrating to here, so, a detour, so I had to do psychiatry, interestingly. All right, so I love to cook. I love to window shop. Like when I want to take my work, find me at the mall, you probably find. I know some might call and say, if you want to find Della, go to the mall. Yeah, all right. So I'm a mother of two boys. So my home here is in Texas, Dallas. So I'm gonna be going back to Dallas. Shout out to everyone calling in from
Hey.
Texas. Yeah. So I'm gonna be graduating in June, and yeah, I think I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I've been through this daunting process, very daunting, and it will humble anyone, no matter how resilient you are. And that
Mm.
was my case. So I'm happy to share my journey with you, and I'm happy to help in any way I could. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks, Della. Oh my gosh, Joy and Della and me All three have two boys,
Look at that.
but mine are grown.
Ours are catching up.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I think we have one more. Last but definitely not least is my friend Sebastian. I can't do a double R. Okay. Adarona. I don't know. I can't do double R. I'm sorry, Sebastian. Internal medicine by way of OBGYN, I think. A resident physician, Brookdale University Hospital and Medical Center. He's the founder of Project IMG. And I saw on his LinkedIn profile, his goal is, I want to change the world. And you know what? I think he is changing the world. I think he is. Okay, so we worked together during the 2023 IMG event and the 2024 IMG event, where apparently Sujan was at both of them, and we missed each other both times. So anyway, do you want to say hello, Sebastian?
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm cam off. My camera is not working, but also Carlos was in both events. He's been in every New York event. So yeah, I was OBGYN resident. I did half of my residency, and then I decided to switch, and now I'm internal medicine. And I got one more year to finish. What else? I found the project IMG in 2021, and that's when August 1st, we had the first IMG event, and then ever since then it has been, growing and growing. And yeah, I'm here to help. I'll answer any questions. I have guided, help thousands of IMGs throughout since I started. I never did any personal mentoring or, I mean, like anything like that. Most of my mentoring is always through webinars or that type of style, unless we have worked together with people in the community for a long time, and then but most of the ways I have done the mentoring is through the events or through webinars. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Sebastian. I have some clients, but I've helped, hundreds and hundreds, it may be thousands by now of IMGs on webinars and resources and all that. So I love being part of the community, and I am a supporter, a Patreon of Project IMG. And Sebastian laughed and said I was the only one. So I think that's ridiculous. We need more
Yeah, it's true.
IMGs.
When I posted the thing some time ago, like no one joined, and you were the only one that joined, and yeah, thank you. And I
So
even posted that again. I was like, okay, like.
yeah, you need to do it again. I think there are people out there that would
Yeah,
sponsor.
but I don't know if you guys know, but in the past, months and years, we have developed a lot of strong relationships with ECFMG, USMLE, MBME, and now we are like the voice for them. They send us every time they have something new, even for the match, even for and all these big organizations. So we have developed a lot of big alliances. Last November, I was in a meeting with the president of MBME and USMLE also, and yeah, that's the goal, to continue, developing these good alliances with these big organizations and make it a little easier for the IMGs throughout their journey, and also every time we have an issue for someone in my program or someone from that reach out to us for maybe they can get it done, and we try to help anyway. So maybe sometimes reaching out to them directly and like, hey, can you please look into this? So yeah, we're here to help.
Yeah, and I have to say that it is so important these days because of, changing political winds. And so we need advocates at the highest level. And I feel like, there's a time for this. So before Project IMG, I even worked with IMGs before, and it seemed like more of a adversarial competition kind of attitude. And I see more and more IMGs pulling together and helping each other within Project IMG, but without. I mean, it's kind of changed the whole
Yeah,
tone.
likely a lot of people join, and also a lot of people got inspired that were part of us or not part of us, and they started creating their own things, their own communities, and that's amazing. That's what we wanted to do.
That's right.
And right now I'm at a point that I'm like super busy with personal things in my life. I want to create my own clinics. I'm actually now getting my New York medical license next month, probably. And my goal is to start creating a clinic system, for primary care, women's health, and like more, dedicating my time into that. So don't have that much time, unfortunately, for other things. So yeah, the idea is for everyone to continue doing this, continue developing community and helping each other and continue helping the next generation of physicians.
That's right. Thank you for that. So it means a lot to me that you made the time to come. Now I'm going to be asking just a few questions, not a lot, just sort of before, during, after the match questions. And not everyone needs to answer. I mean, if you feel like you want to answer, you can. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is it's February 27th. We have, 2 weeks to go, right? How many weeks? 1, 2, 3 weeks, 3 Mondays from now. We're going to find out if you've matched, right? You don't know where you're going to match yet, but unless you got some kind of early match. And leading up to that I imagine, can be extremely stressful. And so in the next 3 weeks, what do you recommend that IMGs do that are have applied and have gone through the interview process? What do you suggest that they do in the next 3 weeks, or nothing?
For me, I can tell, it also really depends on the number of interviews that you had. If you had when I applied was internal OBGYN, sorry. So when I applied OBGYN, I remember I had 13 interviews. So I was like, okay, I hope I match with that for OBGYN. So I was kind of chilling at that time and like trying to do my thing and just hoping I remember during my interviews I thought I did really well. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna hope I match. So really, how many interviews you had, how well you think that you did. If you think you did well and you had a good amount of interviews, most likely you have match. If you have, less interviews and you're not sure, most likely you probably have match also, but maybe you can be working on, okay, a plan B, meaning, it's not the end of the many. I have been around for long time. I know a lot of people that have a match and then they match or they soap. Many times you don't match and then you soap into a better place. So that's also something to consider. But I will say, if you're not sure, I will try to continue working in your research, try to continue on your things, and wait for the match. If you had a lot of interviews and you think you're most likely, just try to enjoy a little bit. And then after you match, enjoy. Really, like those 2 3 months, stop doing what you're doing. And I think I will like just take a break and enjoy as much as you can, plan your life, because then you're gonna start residency for 3 4 5 years and it's gonna be a lot. And also one more thing, I remember what I did before that Monday, before the Friday. I went to bed really late. I was like, I'm just gonna try to wake up as late as possible and just look at the email. I don't wanna be I don't wanna have girl in the morning suffer. So that was also my advice. I just went to every time. I got like any SMLA score or for the match. I always try to sleep over and just wake up and look at my email and have the results. I would hate waking up in the morning and having to wait for that. So those are my little advices of how I did it and how I cope with the match.
I like that. I like that. Just sleep in. That's good.
Yeah, for me that was the best. Just sleeping. Open your phone and see what happens.
Okay. Anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll say from the psychiatric standpoint, some people will be doing their final interviews or may have interviews that are completed. So I'll say the first thing you want to do is congratulate yourself. You've worked hard, you've taken the exams, you've applied, and you've done the interviews. So you've worked really hard. The first thing is give yourself a pat on the back. Irrespective of the outcome, you've put in a lot, so congratulate yourself. The next thing I'll say is try to set a limit on the amount of time that you're spending ruminating or thinking about the outcomes. Because what we know is, even if we think about it and we ruminate about it, we really can't change what the outcome is going to be on that Monday. So set a limit on how much you're discussing, how much anxiety you're putting into this process, and spend some time on your mental health. At this point in time, you've put in a lot, and you just have this period to kind of decompress, relax, watch videos, listen to music, do your grounding techniques, just decompress and take care of yourself. Be selfish at this point and take care of your mental health. And just say, whatever the outcome, I've put in a lot of effort. So that's going to be, just be kind to yourself.
Thank you, Joy. I appreciate that. Okay, anyone else want to add?
Oh my, you know what, Dr. Sajradi, you sound like we talked about this before you started. Look at that, you stole all my points. All right, so Dr. Sadri said it all, she kind of spoke my mind. I echo what she said so far, but I know it's kind of hard because I remember years and years ago when I was in those shoes, it's very difficult to say take care of men. I didn't even know what that meant, right? So I dealt with the stress in a very different way, which was not the best. So looking back, like what would I have done differently? Just like Dr. Jazz, emphasized or stressed on, it's time to take care of yourself. Okay. You celebrate little wins. But the fact that you're expecting something from the mark, that tells me you work so hard. Not every IMG has even gotten this far, right? You've taken your steps. So now what I would really say is to have a strategy, okay? You expecting two outcomes, either yes or no, right? Yeah, there's no in between. Okay, what happens if I get a yes? What am I going to do differently? Or if I get a no, things like that. If I get a no, it's not the end of the world. It may sound like that. It may sound like, oh, it's so easy. No, remember now, if you overly dwelling on the negative, you will forget to even consider what will help you the next time, right? Yeah, I was in that circle for so long. Like I marched on my seventh attempt, 6 or 7. Yeah, seventh year. So I can tell you,
You
I
beat
can tell you
Joy.
about the journey. Yes. So it is possible. But here's what I would say differently. Okay. Look for that one extra thing that you haven't done. There's always something. The only room you want to have is room for improvement, right? You want to have that room. You always want to create that. What can I do better? What can I do next? What have I not leveraged on? Okay. You want to
Right.
make sure you have mentors, people you can always go back to say, okay, how can we strategize? I like to see it from that standpoint so that if you eventually match or when you eventually match, then you don't have to think about those strategies, right? Just kind of like boom, 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 like boom. I don't have to deal with all that. Yes. But then imagine if it were the other way, then you have a plan you can fall back to, right? Okay. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. You're sleeping well. You're having your support system around you. It is not the end of the world. Don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it. I'll tell you that. It is not. Have it in mind that it's going to work out eventually. Okay. It might sound like, okay, I don't know when. But if you have that reassurance that it's going to happen, then do all it takes to make it happen, period. Okay. All right, I'll stop right there.
Ella, that is amazing. I always remember Dr. Pinsky said one time that IMGs, there's a 90% match of IMGs who have applied 5 times, right? So there, year to year, it's like 60%, between 50 and 60% match.
Yeah.
But those that persevere,
You keep trying. Yeah, that's what I did. Do it again. Yes. I became very familiar. While I was doing that, I was kind of doing like making sure there was nothing I didn't try. But guess what? At the point when I said, I am done, I am not doing this again. This is waste of time, my money, like, all those that. And at that time, maybe just share a little bit about my story. at this time, I think in 2020, I got admission into the DO school in New York, because I just couldn't find myself doing anything else. People told me go to nursing. I realized nursing was the most difficult course. I couldn't even I would take a come like nutrition, like I'm not used to, look, everything was kind of different. And it became so hard because I was not interested, right? So I came to DOS, I got admission. I'm looking at the $435,000 student loan. I felt like, whoa, that was kind of like, so now that set up as a motivation to try more. Now when I eventually got matched, I was looking at myself like $435,000 richer. That was how I felt. And for to let you know, those cohorts that we're all the same class, together, I think that was in 2021. They are now in their first year in residency with 435,000. So power of going extra now. Okay, it worked for me, and do not underrate that. Okay, always look for something additional you can do to improve yourself, to improve your resume, mentorship, connecting. Okay, you got to get out of that shell. You have to
We're
go
going to
for
talk
it.
about
There you go.
mentoring a
Of
lot here
course.
in a few minutes.
All right.
Was there anything else from you, Sujan, or did they
Yeah,
cover it all? Next, I'd like to introduce the next panelist, who is Sujan Pudel. I actually worked together with him last year for Match 2024. So he is in his PGY1 year. There's a typo there. He's in psychiatry, a resident at Larkin Community Hospital in Florida. So he has been the rounding coordinator of Team 11, a global research collaborative network. So he's really big into research and coordinating research projects. He has 50 publications and extensive research experience. He's also a member of Project IMG and a new father. So to me, that's the best thing of all, right? So when we did this recording, I actually forgot to introduce Dr. Pudel, so I apologize for that, but then now I'll hand it over back to him.
I would like to add a couple of points. Hi, this is Dr. Podel. I'm a PGY psychiatry resident, and I have gone through the same process as an IMG. So initially, my plan is to go for internal medicine, but something changed, something happened in my life. I have to quit the USMLE and then come back again, and I try to, I choose a completely different pathway. So getting back to the question, I would like to add a few of the things. I know like there is a lot of recent changes that happen in the application. A lot of the time we don't pay that much of attention. So it's not kind of like the same, like they have done a lot of modification. So few of the things I'd like somebody who is into this space is like previous speaker already mentioned about taking care of our mental health, sleeping well, focusing on, like whatever the activities they feel good about or they enjoy, try to surround themselves with more positive mindset of people, right? We have a lot of people who spread like, oh, you cannot do it, this is not for you. It's not like that. And I want everybody to think like for themselves, not like in a respect like, okay, maybe I'm not good enough in respect to this than other candidate. There is nothing like that. If we just create our mindset in that way, then that not gonna let us to the final destination, right? So that is something we have to prepare ourselves. We have to find out where our weakness is in terms of application so that we can prepare ahead of time where we are lacking and where we need to show our strength, right? So along with that, I sincerely, from my personal experience, we need to have a really good mentor, somebody who can always showcase your positive side, right? Somebody who can always motivate us and can show us like the areas that we are deficient. A lot of the time we feel like, hey, I have like all the scores, I have this experience, I have good enough clinical experience, I have research experience, but there still might be a lot of areas that might need more strength that we may not be realizing by ourselves, right? And So during this math process, like earlier mentor said, like there is either it is supposed to be you'll match or you will not match, right? So it's a reality. We have to prepare for that. So what's going to happen next step? So we have to build our mindset in such a way that if something worse happen, then what's the next step I have to prepare for, right? So we need to prepare all the documentation that we need for all the leftover position that we'll have after match, right? So a lot of the time I see like people will not have like all the important documents. Sometimes, like we'll have some new program coming in and they will get surprised and they get so much interested. They reach out to the coordinator and coordinator will request some of the documents, right? They want to review the application and the candidate might not have all the application, I mean, important documents because it will be in the eras, right? They will not be able to download. So try to collect those documents ahead of time. Try to think of the plan B if something worse happen. So I need to prepare all the setup documents. I need to review what are the new upcoming programs that might get accredited soon or in the process, right? So that we will have to have a mindset of catching all the possible opportunity till July hits, right? So there might be a lot of openings that might happen on the way, and a lot of the time oh yeah, I want to apply, I have a good score, but you don't have a document ready so that you can send the like email on time. Try to be that first 1% of the applicant to reach out to that program so that you will get a chance to have an interview earlier. So that is one of the areas I did myself, and I was able to grab application that way. I try to research on the new program that is coming. I try to reach out to those coordinators ahead of time. Like sometimes they're in the process of accreditation, but then they may not be there yet, right? So if we try to send a letter of interest ahead of time, that always put you like in a positive side. So that is some of the strategies we can play to to grab other opportunities. And a lot of the time we kind of know ahead of time based on the past data, like which are the program that might have some unfilled position, right? There are a lot of datas that we have in the past. So based on that, we can prepare like, okay, in psychiatry, what are the programs that might go unfilled, right? So you can prepare a plan ahead of time to target those programs as an alternative so that you can reach out to those programs. If anything's happened like this, I'm interested, try to have your CV sent ahead of time with the letter of interest so that we can grab the opportunities. So yeah, that's what I want to add.
That's great. Being organized and being prepared for opportunities, because they don't just drop in your lap, you have to be prepared for that. And I really like that. I also wanted to play a little bit of what Carlos said, and he got an early match, so, he doesn't know about that, particularly well, but he did fail step 2 CS. And so he does understand about, failure or overcoming things. So I wanted to just a little bit of what he said about that emotionally.
So when you don't match, you have of course it's like breaking up or like having a really bad emotion or a really bad situation that is going to take you a little bit, a small period of time of grief, of course, where you are going to try to figure out why this happened or try to get all these questions in your mind saying, why I did match, why I did wrong. But instead of focusing on where you are like, what you did wrong is what you're going to do next, what you're going to change in your plan to achieve your goal. So probably one of the things that you at this point must have any kind of mentorship. Like probably you will have a mentor already. If you don't, you can try to figure out or to get one to try to put another eyes in your application and try to give you an advice of what you can change to do the things different. So at this point, when you didn't match, don't ask yourself why I didn't match. Is like what I'm going to do to match next year. That's probably the change of mindset that you have to have in your mind.
Okay. So I liked his idea of giving yourself a short time to grieve. So I appreciated that.
And also,
And
just one thing, as we mentioned, throughout the year, there's positions that they open. Like every year in Project IMG, we match like 5 to 6, 7 people, like, because we get from programs like, hey, we got these, 2, 3 guys that they cannot make it to the US due to visa issues. They're gonna come next year, so we need this type of applicant, someone that has a step 3 or not. And we usually just post it on social media. Hey, send an email here, and every year a lot of people match. So throughout after the match, usually like 1 month after, some people have issues due to the visa or different things, so they're like, okay, come back next year. And so, yeah, so be ready. As it was mentioned, have your letters, if you can have your letters recommendation, which you don't have them because they are NERAs, but if you can ask, the people that wrote them after the match, if you have a match, to have them in a PDF, that will help you a lot.
that's great advice. I like that. A little time to grieve, take care of yourself, but be prepared for the next phase. And so we talked a lot about those that don't match. And I was just curious if anyone here had participated in SOAP. Anybody here on the panel?
Yes, I myself have participated in so. But unfortunately, I didn't match. So I wasn't really thought about like I'll get interviewed during the soap. So I was just driving and suddenly I got a call from program director, right? And I got shocked, like, is it real for real, right? And then she said, like, are you ready for the interview? And I just said, like, yeah, I'm driving. I'm on the highway, I'm driving, but I can interview, right? So I interviewed, it was kind of like a phone interview for 10 minutes, right? So that is something I had an experience. So you can get call anytime, any moment. So during the show process, what I used to do is like I will have somebody who is my care partner, or like my wife, or somebody who is my family members to help me, support me in every ways, right? Like in terms of food, my personal, taking care of my personal health, my sleep, and everything. So that's what I focus on myself, so that I can fully concentrate on the interview part of it. Like we can get, it is very unexpected, right? You can get called anytime, any moment. So it can be in the early morning, afternoon, even like in the night. I have seen some of my friends saying like they got a call at 7, 8 p.m. at night. So try to have that mindset, like, try to stay positive, right? And you may get, if you get calls, try to organize yourself and try to grab that opportunity.
Oh,
So
I love that. Just clear the decks, like don't have anything on your plan for those days. Have someone caring for the kids,
yes.
have your refrigerator stocked.
Because
And
I remember, like, at that time, I hardly is able to sleep for like 4 5 hours. So every day I thought like, okay, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna get the interview. Let me ready for that, right? So you are so much mentally stressed out. You need to have somebody who can understand you. So that try to have people, whether it is your friend, somebody who can always give you the positive feedback, right? Hey, you're gonna do it. Just we are here for you, because I feel like every one of us should have somebody in our life that can be friend, that can be family members, that can be a friend you made like nowhere, right? Who always you find it right, very supportive and positive. So we need to have somebody like that during that time, so that we can be more productive, and then we can grab that opportunity if possible.
And it is true that those interviews are quite different than in the regular season. They're very short. And so, as someone that preps people for regular interviews, we do have a short, like, sort of prep for SOAP in our community, but it's mainly just tell me about yourself and why are you a good fit for this program. I mean, that's
Yeah,
pretty much it.
yeah,
As much
very
as you
pretty
can,
straightforward.
like, and have a good question. I mean, that's about all you have time for. So being ready for that different style, if you
But
especially
I think like, I
yeah.
think in soap, like as far based on my experience, it's gonna be like different for different program. Sometimes they will inform you like with an email, like a formal email, hey, we gonna interview on this time, are you available? So they're gonna send you a setup timeline, very short, within very short margin, but that's how they're gonna play. Sometime coordinator might reach out, sometime, like program director might reach out, and they go through like 2 3 interview process. So they try to understand you in the phone call followed by another formal interview. So they have like every program have their own style of doing the show process. So we have to be prepared for that. Try to have a good impression on the first call.
By the way, one of my clients did match during the soap. So it can happen. People always say, oh, IMGs never get matched during soap. And I don't know where that came from. I think it's fine. I think, that these positions do need to be filled by someone. So, yeah, so that's why I wanted to, cheer you on because it can happen. I know one of my clients did. So was there something you
Yeah.
wanted to add, Joy?
Yeah. So I was going to add that during the soap, one thing you could do is if you have a community already and there are a group of you that are unmatched, put a team together so you're not working alone. And the team will come together to help research this program. It lessens the burden on you trying to find out the programs by yourself. Because at that point in time, first of all, you're stressed out that you didn't match. You have a short interval to grieve. You have a short interval to get things ready to start moving. So, like we were saying at the initial time, let everything be ready at this time. Reach out to your mentors, see if they can give you letters of recommendations that you can put a folder together outside of ERAS. Go to ERAS and see if you can download your personal statement. Also begin to try to think outside the box. So let's say I apply to psychiatry, but maybe I might be interested in family medicine. Maybe I might be interested in internal medicine. And I know that usually in the previous years, a lot of on-field sports go in like transitional programs in internal medicine, in surgery. Start putting together your application to be able to apply to those fields. You might want to gain that 1 year of experience and then transition to your field, something that you like. So it's always important to just be prepared. Put a team together. It's very, very helpful. Also, no, I think at this time if you're registered for the NMRP, you have like opportunity to apply to 45 programs. If you don't use it, my program has something that says you don't use it, you lose it. Every month they give us money. You don't use that money at the end of the month, it's gone. So decide what you want to do. You use it or you lose it. So use it, but use it wisely. So some people might want to put in like all 45 at one time, while others might want to wait for the second and the third. Just think about what is best for you. And like I said, just have that team around you and have your documents. At this point in time, you should have your documents ready to go and also think about alternatives that will fit into the picture of what you're doing at this time.
Wow, that is some great advice. I wish I would have asked you guys this like 3 years ago. Because I'm like, I don't know, Okay, so I think we covered that really well. So now I kind of want to transition, and we have a lot of questions, in the chat about mentors and some specific questions that if anyone on the panel, doesn't mind answering that would be great. But we're going to make a transition now to though there are a lot of you here that are going to match. The majority, right? The majority of IMGs match. And I always think, oh my goodness, it's kind of the opposite. If you don't match, there's a time of grieving, and then you got to, put your head down and move forward. It's kind of the same thing if you match. I feel like it could be overwhelming. And I thought that maybe some of you could speak to that and, what are maybe some of the priorities, starting with first things first, and then, before you actually report in June. Is that right? So you really only have April and May and a little bit of March, I think. So help me out here. Anybody want to talk about it?
So can you clarify the question one more time?
So if when someone matches, what should their priorities be at that time? Like, what's the mindset then? I feel like they could be overwhelmed and not know what to do next.
So
So what can they do?
So I think like a lot of the time in that process, the coordinator from the program, they usually reach out with the further process. So I think the first step is to be in touch with the coordinator from the program that you got matched, right? So there are a lot of paperwork, the visa thing, right? If you are an IMG staying outside. So usually like we have to get, so rule might be a little bit different state by state, but when I apply for the license in Florida, I have to have the license before I start residency, right? So that process gonna be different for somebody who is an like IMG, but as like a US IMG, or somebody who is a non-US IMG. So the process might be different. So there might be a lot of documentation they have to send to the board for the approval process. So it's better once we have the once we have been reached out by the program with the all those series of steps, I think we should immediately start the process, somebody who is an IMG, so that there will not be a delay in the visa processing. So that is something we have to pay really good attention. Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else?
You mashed first of all on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
I-
that day. See, like I
Last
screamed. I was
last year.
almost, yeah.
Last year I had a client who did a video reveal of the whole thing, and she had her son open up the email, and I'm telling
Mhm.
you, I was like bawling. I was crying because it was just so exciting. And she had balloons, and I mean, I guess she was really confident. She had balloons and her whole family, and her mom was crying, and oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Also,
Uh,
usually the program has a chat, for the incoming residents. Make
Yeah.
sure first, you join the chat. You're part of that. You can you start asking all the questions. For housing, all the third year, fourth years, they're living, so they try to see, where they're gonna leave their places, so you can maybe take over one of their places or recommendations. That's also something that you can, look into. Um, so yeah, those are the main things. I think the housing, where you're gonna live, and some you don't have to stress also about finding the best apartment right away. Like I remember when I first matched, I was in Lincoln. I did OBGYN in the Bronx, and the first place I found was a basement in the Bronx. That I stayed there for like 4 months because I was just and then I found that I got the COVID deal and a beautiful apartment with pool. I had like a jacuzzi, everything in the Upper East Side for an amazing price because it was during COVID deal, and that was like 4 months after. So like, even at the beginning, you can just try to find something that you pay month by month, even if it's not the best place. But then once you're settled and once you're in the spot, you find something nicer. So yeah, those are the. And think if you want to keep your car. No, if you're in New York, most likely you don't need, but I mean, now I'm in Brooklyn. I do drive to work, and also keep in mind that most of the hospitals have parking and have very cheap parking. Like, for example, in my hospital, regular parking might be, I don't know, like 300. For attendings, might be like 120, and for residents, it's like $40. So you get also those special deals when you are a resident in parking, and that different things that you're gonna be thinking around, and it's gonna maybe come up into your mind. We can do another webinar after you match, so you guys can answer ask whatever questions you have. But those are some things that are just coming to my mind.
Thank you, Sebastian. Now I know Joy, you matched and you had two little boys. They were little ones too.
Yeah. So I would say when you match, like Della said, of course, celebrate pat yourself on the back. You've done a great job and you've succeeded at it. Because, like we said, some of us have gone through this journey multiple times. So you've succeeded at this journey. So congratulate yourself. But one thing I want to say is don't forget your mentors. People supported you. There were stands that held you up to succeed. After celebrating, go back, thank your mentors, reach out to them. And again, after you match and you're integrated into the society, pay it forward. People assisted you on the journey. So remember to pay it forward so that you're building a bigger community and people can learn from you to grow. The other thing is like when you match, try to reach out to your program to start your onboarding process in a timely manner. You might need to get your license, you might need to start doing some training before you go to the city. If you can, find time to visit the city. For like in my own case, I was in San Antonio and I matched in Lubbock. And I was like, hold on a minute, where is Lubbock? What even happens in Lubbock? So we had to take a trip we had to take a trip down because again, like I had two boys, I had to think about school, I had to think of a place that was close to them, I had to think of some childcare. So there were so many things coming up in my mind, and I was like, how is I going to integrate this being a new resident doctor who had to work like 12, 13 hours every day and taking care of my kids? So we drove down, we looked for the school, and then so from the school, then we looked for our home. So that was how we did. We looked for the school first and then looked for the home closest to the school. So take that time out and start your onboarding process on time. Reach out, see if you have people who can mentor you who are also in that program, especially if it's a program that you haven't done an observership in, that you're not used to. Reach out to people who are in that program and see how best they can support you, and then just put your resources together to get ready to start. Also, there are some crash. I'll say again, before you resume, take time to take a vacation. For me, I took time with the family. We all went to New York to take a vacation because in my mind's eye, I didn't know what residency was going to look like if I was not going to be able to have time to have vacation with my family for the next 4 years that I was doing residency. So we took our time, we had a good time just vacationing and getting ready. Like everybody got mentally prepared for me to start residency. So also taking that time out to take care of yourself is important. And then what was the final thing I was going to say? I lost track of the last thing I was going to say. Um, but yes, I think if you do those steps, you should be good. And don't forget, please pay it forward.
I love that. Thank you so much. And Della, you had mentioned about the timing of that. When does residency start? And when is their orientation usually?
Yeah, so typically, you get matched, like go chill out, okay? Don't take out that piece of it. Go enjoy, celebrate. Look, your anxiety level should go from 10 to 0, okay? Because now you are going to be calling the shot in some sense, right? Because there's really nothing to worry about. So now it's about you. Because your program director is going to be reaching out, the coordinator is going to be reaching out. They're going to be reaching out to you, not the other way. But sometimes we get so anxious that we don't want to miss any point. But if you are that person, it's okay. But there's really no need for that. It's a process. You don't like, there's nothing like right now, it's just gonna be you getting ready for the journey, period. Okay. Um, but June will be my program started June, I think last 2 weeks of June, they want to get those orientation, those onboarding process. But before then, your program coordinator should be reaching out to you for state licensing and all those jazz, you just get integrated. Don't worry about that, okay? Those are kind of program specifics. There's no one size fits all to say, okay, this is typically like timeline to say, oh, it's in April or in June. No, it's all depend on where you're going. So that's why I kind of so orientation usually in June, and yeah, so just prepare to be there at the site or your program move. You have to move and stuff like that. Start planning, right? There's now you know where you're going, okay? So it's time to start making those calls. Okay, where's the best place to live? What is most important to you? Do you want to get home? Do you want to drive, commute? Where's now you are part of the resident body. So now I can reach out to them to say, hey, what does it look like? Where do you think can you send me some resources? How do I get to know the best, PGY I want? Like, what does it look like? Because now you are going to be part of that program, right? So you might as well just start getting the specifics. Okay, so yeah, so moving is a big thing. So you want to plan for that, accommodation, and yeah, so the process could be very seamless. Just relax, chill, and just ride.
I appreciate that. And so it
Um,
shows how the coordinator is critical, right? I think they don't get enough credit sometimes for all the work they do. And
right.
so, yeah, so God bless the
Then, of course, they'll be your best friend. Yes, yes, throughout the process. Yes.
Oh gosh, I love that. Okay, thank you so much for that.
So when you match first, congratulations. Of course, you're going to be really excited to go to the place where you wanted to be. Of course, try to figure out where are you going. If that place you already had some research about it, probably you did already when you went to the interview. So I know that there's a lot of questions, but I think there are some priorities always. First, try to figure out where you're going, try to contact them and try to tell them that you are really grateful for the opportunity and everything. And of course, start working first on your visa situation. Probably most of you will have an IMG situation like me, and you will need J1 or H1B visa. And it's a short period of time from March to July to do like J1B visa. H1 is a little more, even more difficult. So some of the programs will have already maybe contact you immediately, but you have to start working on that. Probably that's the first thing that you should try to solve. You could have match, but if you don't have a visa, you don't have the approval from the government of US, you will not be able to come and do the residency. So unfortunately, it's like that. So the first thing that you have to be worried about is your visa situation. Get everything, even from this point. If you see that your passport is going to be, most of the time, I think most of the countries have the same rule, is 6 months until it's going to be expired. So your passport is going to be expiring within the next 6 months. Be worried about it from this moment. So try to maybe change your passport at this point, so you don't have to wait until the March day to have the passport updated and everything, because you will encounter this kind of delays during your process, and it will be even like something that even doesn't depend on your knowledge, doesn't depend on your capacities that you already prove, but it depends more in the process of getting getting the visa and getting everything. So I think that's the first thing I will worry about. And the other thing is, of course, where you're going to live, how you're going to uh, pay all of this. We have to be honest, there's a lot of implications in coming from one country to another one, getting a lot of spendings in different stuff. Initially, when you rent an apartment, for example, you will need to have a security deposit and also pay the fee of the broker. If you're in some states, for example, in US and in New York, you have to pay the broker almost 1 month. So you will have to have idea of how you're going to cost, like to do all of this. So that's the other thing that you have to have in mind. And I mean, it's the second thing I will be worry about, how I'm going to move, what I'm going to do. I remember, for example, that before coming to the US, well, before coming to my program, I came like February. On February, I knew that I matched on October 2021, and on February 2022, I came here to try to get a bank account, a credit card. At the moment, Citibank, they helped me a lot, so they opened an account for me. I even applied for a credit card. They gave me the credit card, and when I came here, it was easier to do everything because when you have a credit card, you have a bank account, and everything is easier for everything to do things. So I mean, you can oversee these kind of situations and try to overcome it faster if you have a plan of how to do it. So don't just be anxious. Anxiety is going to be something that is going to be part of the process. It could be anxiety because of excitement, with excitement, or with sadness if it doesn't happen like you wanted. But at the end of the day, it's not about emotion, it's about what you're going to do afterwards. How can you prepare for the next steps? What you're going to do for the next steps?
Great. So that's what we're going to talk about for this year's match, 2025. Now I want to transition a little bit into giving some early advice for those who are going to apply for first timers, we'll say, for match 2026. And we have been talking about mentorship. People come to me because I am a communications mentor, right? I always say, get you a bunch of them though. I'm not a doctor, so get some doctors from where you're from, your home country, your medical school, those that speak the same language as you, maybe, those in the programs, of course. I always like Sujan, they talk about their juniors and their seniors, and I don't really know what that means, but yeah, so they're always helping each other. That's important. Getting a team of mentors, not just one, because like a research mentor, whoever has the specialty in that section, I think it takes a village at this point. But talking about, your journey in mentorship and what would you advise for match 2026 applicants, like first timers?
I'm just gonna, apart from everything, I will say the step three nowadays is very important. So start preparing for your step three is so important. And try to, if you're applying for internal medicine, it's not that important for, I mean, for research, but if you can get some research done, also it's good. So I think that's the extra thing. Try to get some research if you can. Take the step three, and get good letter of recommendations. Try to get them, personalized during the. If you still have to do another rotation or two, be the first one to be there, be the last one to leave. It's only 1 month. The rotation is only 4 weeks, so try to do as much as you can during that time. And for research, there are so many. You try to speak with your mentors, with your seniors in Project IMG. We have PIMG research also that we prepare also you on research, so you can reach out also there. But yeah, well, no matter how you get it, but try to get some research experience if you can. But I will say over the research, the step three. If you can take the step three, that's a big plus. Also, some programs are still, like my program, for example, gives the H1 visa. So if you have the step three, you can get your H1 visa, which is also a big plus.
So, Sujan, you do a lot with research and mentorship for that, don't you?
Yes. So let me just, based on my experience, the way I try to divide, like what are the things that you need to prepare ahead of time. A lot of the time we get lost, right? So we don't know like a estimated timeline. So for example, like when is the best time to apply, right? What are the things I need to prepare, right? So I would say like there are a few of the things that I divide usually. One is kind of like your USMLE steps, right? So it's always good to have your step three, like already Sebas mentioned, by September 28th. That's when the cycle usually runs these days, like initially. So that is something you can make it ready. But if you are kind of like a fresh graduate, right? So it is kind of like divided in between two. Like if it is you are a fresh graduate within 2 year or 3 year or more than 5 year or more than 10 year, right? So those are the subcategories. So if you are within 2 to 3 years, usually they may not give step three as that important, but having step three always put you on the top, right? Even if you are fresh. But if you have a step three on the top, that always differentiate you from rest of the fresh candidate who may not have a step three, right? So every program have their own style of ranking, like based on USMLE score or a lot of parameters they have. But that's what I suggest, like a lot of the time, candidate who are fresh, they just think like, oh, maybe I may not need step 3. But they don't think of the other way, having step 3 is always a plus for them. Why they don't increase their chance of matching into a program that they want on the first setting, right? So that is one of the thing I focus. And second thing is like clinical experience. Always based on what I have gone through, right? I always put clinical experience as a second priority, because during the interview, one of the areas that focus is like their inclination to the specialty, right? So a lot of the time we see like people are juggling between, okay, I have like 1 year of experience in internal medicine, 1 year in psychiatry, right? So if you have kind of like close specialty, it may bridge the gap. For example, like having experience in internal medicine may help family medicine, right? But having experience in internal medicine may not be that important. Somebody who is applying for surgery or somebody who is applying for psychiatry, but it's still like there is a way. Sometimes, like people have the mixed experience, but they think like, I want to apply for psychiatry. But there is a way of justifying it, saying, for example, like in first year we have to have a training, few months of training in internal medicine, so you can apply those knowledge during your first year, right? So basically what my idea is like, it is best to focus more on the specialty you want to apply. So for example, like if you just wanted to go for internal medicine or family medicine, one or the other can help, right? Somebody who want to apply for surgery, anesthesia experience having maybe like close inclination, right? Somebody who want to apply for psychiatry or neurology, that may be close alignment, although it's not kind of like same. So that is something we have to prepare ahead of time, where I wanted to go, right? And what I wanted to see, because some of the, especially like psychiatry, they are really focused at law candidate who are really psych focused. So that is another area. And third is kind of like research. It may not be that important. It depends like what type of program you are targeting. What is your target? Is it university program? It is university affiliated? Is it community program, right? What is the research setup in your hospital, right? How importance they give into research. So depending upon that, your application will carry value, right? So you want to target community, like a program where research may not be that important. So how do you find? Just go to the website of your program, then you'll really see like how importance they are giving to research, right? Some of the time they mention in their mission and vision statement what they want in their residence. So sometimes they give a hint on those statements as well. So third category, I would say, is a research, right? And fourth category, like based on my experiences, like volunteering in those organizations that may be aligned. For example, like in psychiatry, we have NAMI, right? That's one of the organization that somebody who want to go for psychiatry wanted to get involved, or something similar, right? For medicine, try to involve in like, for example, like they have like national and local organization, right? Local organization bodies, so they can involve on those way early on, or have them present in their conferences way early on, right? So that is another areas. And sometimes like if you have like a leadership experience, right? So I always try to divide my experience into different categories, so it looks more kind of like holistic. Because nowadays when you put the experience into your eras, they have a very limited like the field. So you are only supposed to have like 9 or 10 experience in total. So what do you want to include in that? So when I worked on myself, I try to put my clinical experience more of kind of like, if I have like hands-on experience, I try to put that as my priority so that it can be seen during the application. And my research experience, my leadership experience, my other volunteering experience, that is focused in the specialty. So I try to divide or my teaching experience, I have a teaching experience too. So I try to put it, it may not be true or whole same for everybody, but try to find out what are the strengths that you have and try to have those diversity and variation so that it looks like good in the application. So that's
And
how.
I think that is important for when we get to the application cycle, that you have a variety of of experiences that are relevant, you know,
Mhm.
but people, I think that they don't really think of some things like volunteering as an experience. They
Mhm.
question whether that is valid, and it absolutely is, especially if you can you can even get a strong letter of recommendation from a volunteer experience. So just starting to stack those and piece them together, even this, it's not too early. It is
Mhm.
not too early to start working on that. So, Joy, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I would say, like everyone has said, the goal is I usually have a motto which I got from my high school, which is perseverance breeds success. So start early, persevere in whatever you're doing. There are tons of opportunity to volunteer. And as international medical graduates, the doors are shut on us. But if you volunteer, like in a hospital setting, then you have a foot in the door. If you have a foot in the door, then you can locate a mentor through that process. So I'll tell you like my own story. I went to the San Antonio State Hospital to volunteer, and I was able to locate a mentor there, and he was a psychiatrist, and he was able to mentor me through the process and even give me a letter of recommendation at the end of my volunteer work there. Until today, I still keep in touch with him. So I try to update him to say, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing. Every step that I succeed, I send a text message to say, I'm now a chief resident. I just got this award, to let him know that whatever trust he put in me was not thrown away. But he didn't know me. It was through a volunteer experience that I was able to locate him. When we're talking about research experience, trying to get research experience, also going to the hospital websites to see, a lot of them have like research places. You can reach out to them. Again, in my own experience, I looked up because I was in San Antonio, I went to the university hospital website. They had a neuro behavioral research lab. And I went there and I reached out to them and I said, I want to volunteer on the research. It was a longitudinal research, but I was able to participate in that and put it on my CV. So volunteering is a great opportunity to locate mentors. Also, places that we can locate mentors, if we can afford it, is going to conferences. When you go to conferences, a lot of times you have um, a lot of big names, a lot of mentors from that particular field clustered in one place. And it's a very good place to network. So if you can afford it, because it's expensive, you can afford the accommodation, you can afford to pay for the conferences. That's another good place to network. But if you're going there, strive to see if you can put a literature review together, if you can put something together that you can present at that conference so that people know that you're striving to succeed. And when we say start early, January is early. Begin to put your paperwork together. Begin to reach out to your mentors, to people who will write letters of recommendation for you. Begin to look for where you can do observerships because they want you to be busy. They don't want to see gaps in your application, even though I know ERAS is now going down to like 10 experiences. But in the long run, by the time you begin to apply for your license, because our ultimate goal is to finish residency, be able to have a license and practice. They don't want to see gaps. Any gap more than 6 years, 6 months, you have to explain. So all of those things kind of fill up the gaps for you and also helps to make your CV shine better.
That's good.
And even regarding the gaps, now I just applied for my New York medical license, and they asked me from high school until now, all the time. And when I apply for FCVS, which is once you before applying for the license, you have to apply for FCVS, which is part of FSMB. That they make sure you did your residency, what you say you did it, and all of that. And then that goes to the board, and they both ask you any gaps. And I think if it's more than like 3 months or 4 months, you have to explain or put something like something you have to write. So all the time you have to be explaining those gaps also.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a lot of writing, and
Yeah.
I don't even know what I did yesterday, honestly. So Get it together.
So first of all, always try, as I said before, like try to do a diagnosis of where you're lacking. And of course, if something is lacking in your social skills or in your communication skills, you have to have a mentor in that aspect. If you're lacking of research skills or you're not like you're not doing a lot of publications, and you know that publications is the thing that is dragging you out of the process, then go with a mentor that helps you with the research. If you think that is just an overall problem in the whole application, come with someone that already applied, that already successfully applied, and maybe they can teach you how you can change the things or the wording in your application and do something different. So what I'm saying is that you have to have a lot of different mentors in different aspects, depending on what is your diagnosis or what you want. And it's okay to have several mentors at the same time. You can have someone that is helping you with the communication skills, someone that is helping you with research, another one is helping you with application overall, another one that is going to be someone that is already in the residency, and why not someone that is going to help you to go into that program that you want. So also that you can have that kind of mentors that they're already in a program that is your dream program and you want to go into that one, and you will feel that one of the ways to do it is to learn from those who are already in the program that you want. So if you want to go to a specific hospital, try to contact people that is already there and try to get a mentor connected with you from that hospital. So your chances to match there are going to increase. So I think mentorship is something crucial. And not I'm not talking also just for the mentees, the one that are going to get the mentorship, but also talking to the mentors, because I know that most or several people that is listening to this, they could be in the position to be a mentor. And even you, after you apply and after you match, you could be a mentor of other IMG that is applying also, or your friend. And this happened with me a lot. For example, I had a friend that is Alejandro Revilla, and now is my PCP, is my primary care physician. And he was also my friend in med school. He was chief medical resident in Peru as hospitalist. Well, chief hospitalist actually, and he helped me to get into that job. And then when he came here to San Barnabas, I said, "Hey, I want also to go to US. I also want to go to the hospital. I know that you are in San Barnabas. How could I get there?" And he recommended me. He rooted for me, and he helped me a lot. And now I'm here. I'm also a chief medical resident now. He was a chief medical resident at that moment. So that's a good way to do it. For example, you have to help the other people that is coming behind you. And now, for example, now I have helped several of my friends to come here, and they are successful in doing their internship year or their next steps. And of course, I'm learning a lot also from them. So even if you're a mentor, you will gain a lot from those who are your mentees. And the positions can change. At some point, if they achieve something that you want to achieve, they're going to become your mentor in that aspect. For example, one of my mentees or people that is there is really good at research, I will learn from them. If one of my mentees is really good at communication networking, I will learn from them. So it's not one way of gaining. I think when you are doing mentorship, it's two ways. They're going to give you something, and you're going to give you another thing. So that is an interchange of different aspects or different skills that maybe you will get to know when you are doing the process of doing whatever you want help into. So yes, I think that's a good thing. It's the same thing as in education. When you are doing education, you're teaching something, you're learning a lot. So for me, at least, the best way of learning is to teach. And it's the same thing with mentorship. The best way to get help is to help someone else.
Finally, I wanted to let you guys know of a couple of resources that I have for you. So I am the founder of the IMG Match Success Hub. It's a little bit different than when we work together, Joy, and I think maybe even you, Sujan, but I have an online platform with, a lot of different resources on it. And so what I've done is I'm trying to upgrade my my website as well. And so what I've done for you guys is I put together like a whole list of resources. Let me put that in the chat, and these are all completely free. Um, Hopefully somebody tell me if that works. And then, but I'll just show you what it looks like. And so it was a lot of the things that we talked about tonight. So I talk about the 4 stages of the residency journey, or at least the application part. The first part is preparation, and a lot of that has to do with what we talked about, networking, getting your experiences together, research, finding mentors, like I said. And then the application, we all know it's through ARIS or Residency CAS. Then there's, prepping for interviews. And then there's that communication and pronunciation part that a lot of people leave out. In fact, you can go, sadly, I have worked with residents, PGY1 sometimes. I've had program directors reach out to me and say, my resident is having problems, with communication. So that'd be a good one to also think about as well. And so I have these resources put together for you. I have the networking essentials for IMGs, and that'll kind of help you to build your professional brand and learn how to use LinkedIn, those kinds of things, to help you. And then the application success guide, the residency interview mastery, the four-step framework. Some of you have learned that with me using the STAR approach. And then I have the pronunciation mini course for IMGs. These are YouTube videos. These are PDFs, and that's YouTube videos. And so that's what I have. I hope you guys will, reach out with that and, get your resources, start early, get your mentors. And that's what's going to help you get through this. We got to do it all together. And then I wanted to share, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can find this, but I wanted to share this in the chat also. Okay, the link works. Thank you. And there is the link for Carlos. He had a lot of good things to say, but I didn't really I said this was going to be 90 minutes, so I don't want it to be longer than that. But I want to say thank you to our panelists. You are the best. I think I deserve a pat on my back because I picked like such awesome panelists, right? So, I mean, just some closing words, maybe. I hope this has been helpful to everybody. Some closing words from our panelists.
I will say thank you for inviting us, and I hope to meet you guys in a future IMG event.
All right, yeah.
And keep it up with the match. You're all gonna match. I'm sure you're gonna match.
All right, yeah. Everybody go to the IMG event. What are y'all planning this year, Sebastian? Are you
That's a
gonna?
good question. That's we still deciding the play. It's New York. It's so expensive the venue, so we're deciding. I actually got an email today from AMA last week from USMLE. Like we still don't have, unfortunately, they confirmed for this year because it's very expensive all the venues in New York. But well, we're gonna post information soon. So yeah.
You need more Patreons like me.
Yeah.
Cover the costs. I don't think I'm covering that, but anyway. Okay, thank you so much, Sebastian. I really do appreciate you coming on tonight. Okay, anyone else want to say goodbye?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
say just thank you so much, and just keep at it. Like we say, just keep at it. We've been through this journey. Some of us had to apply like multiple times, but we eventually got into residency and we're rounding up now, and we're very grateful for not giving up. So please don't give up, whatever the outcome is. Just get yourself together, grieve a little, and then just get back to it. You eventually would match.
Della?
All right, I want to say thank you all for being here. And I want to leave you with the word that there's no loss in any loss. Yes, so yeah, there's no loss in any loss. You've tried, and just know that you're going to get there. Okay. I did it. I've been through that journey. I don't know how many times you've tried, but I got mine the seventh time. So if I stand here telling you it's going to work, believe it. Always look for that next thing you can do better to improve your application for next time. All right, guys, wish you all the best.
Yeah,
And
some
see you at the top.
some are you're asking for your emails, and that's totally up to you if you want to share it in the chat, or I think most of them you can find on LinkedIn. So just write down the names and you can find them. I don't know about Della, I couldn't find her, but
Yeah, I am you bet, right? I'm a social media, like I don't know, thing with this social media. I'm not a fan, but hey, I'm gonna put my email here. I'm sorry if I sound like old school, but it's okay.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. So yeah, I appreciate that though for some of those who are asking for it. And Sujan, last but not
Yeah,
least.
thank you so much for this opportunity. I know, like, for all of you, this is a hard time. Just trust the process, believe on yourself. You have all those energy to make it happen. So just try to get away from all the negative energy, try to focus. And if you are not matching again and again, try to see what is wrong on your application, what is something you can improve, because every year we have to show the program like what we really did, right? So sometimes we just feel like, hey, I have all these steps, I have all these things, but try to give continuity on the clinical experience. Try to have connect with those program where you can showcase your hands-on. For example, like I'm from Larkin, so Larkin do like sub internship program, right? So sometimes what the program director really look for is like wherever the sub interns that they join to the program, they try to see how they present, how whether they are proactive. So based on that, sometimes they can judge or like provide you the opportunity for the interview, despite you might have some of the red flags. So if you have those areas, you really have to prove it, you really have to be in touch with the program. So it's always best to approach the program that has the residency so that you can showcase yourself, you can turn that into green light. So that is something we really need to focus at this time. Try to be positive. I myself has gone through a long process. I'm an old IMG. I believed on myself. There are a lot of timelines where even my family and friends used to say, maybe you can do IT or something else. And I was just debating myself on transitioning from internal medicine to psychiatry, something that is my family did not really welcome in that sense. Like I'm from Asia, so a lot of the time we feel like doctor means either internal medicine or surgery. That's how people used to perceive, right? So nowadays things have changed. Like psychiatry has gone so high, Rupop, like everybody need like mental health support, right? So now they can think of the importance. So just try to believe on yourself and make it happen. So it will be possible.
That's wonderful. I just love that this was such an uplifting time, and I hope it was helpful to everybody. I know it's been helpful for me. So, yeah, so everybody, if you registered for this, you will get an email probably Monday with the link to this. And don't forget to reach out for those resources. I think right now would be a great time to access that networking essentials for IMGs, because it will help you get mentors. It's going to help you know how to approach people and how to and how to find those mentors. So again, thank you so much. I mean, I did it with 2 minutes to spare. So thank you.
Before I go, I just want to
Yeah.
add one thing, because I also become a part of a lot of IMG, like forum in the past. So I myself had to host the research group. I was one of the founder, which have like more than 2,000 people, right? So my idea is I really struggle for myself, right, to find out the way for myself. So if you guys have any question related to, irrespective of which specialty you are applying, you can reach out to me in LinkedIn, like send me a message. Whenever I'll get a chance, I'll try to reply you guys based on my whatever 5, 7 years of experience of, like going through that process. Sometime, like being an old IMG, maybe I'll be able to guide the old IMGs or somebody who has a red flag, because I have mentored a few of the people that way in the past. So feel free to reach out to me if you guys have any question.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that offer. I appreciate that. Okay, well, that's what we have for this time together. And I hope you guys stay in touch with me on LinkedIn. Always there for you. This is my only job. I'm not a doctor, so I'm just here for you guys. I mean, they have those pesky patients, right? I'm just here for you guys. So let me know what I can do. I'm always building new resources and trying to help as much as I can. This year, my focus is trying to learn about USCE and all that. Just it's crazy, but yeah. So thank you so much again for everybody for coming and spending this time together. And I'll see you on the LinkedIn or in Dallas, Della. Okay. All right. Good night.
Good night. Thank
You all have a
you.
good
Thanks for all
night.
you
Nice
do.
to connect
Yeah.
with you all.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Well, Carlos, I do appreciate it. And I'm just remembering that you have a master's in education and so do I. So I know that you love teaching as well as I do. So I appreciate it. And I wanted to tell everybody that this is being recorded because tonight you're getting the night of the actual panel event. You're becoming a member of the Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Honor Society. Tell us what that is really quick so they can, aspire to that one day.
So, and you will see it, and you probably already know that when you are applying into the areas, there's a little box says there if you are part of Alpha Omega Alpha Society. Basically, it's a medical honor society that it comes from more than 100 years, and it has like more than 55 Nobel Prizes that are part of the society. It's a society that is usually for the last years of the medical school here in the US. Most of the programs of medical schools, they are part of these chapters or chapters from the society. And the students who are usually maybe not the best, but the ones that are more highlighted by their peers, or they have a research or academical achievements, they are part of this the society. Usually, that's the usual way to do it. But when you're a resident or you're a fellow and someone from the university that you're affiliated, in my case, the City University of New York, recognize that on you, they will like propose you as part of the society to the committee. So if they approve you and they say yes, well, he's a good candidate. He has the values and the skills that we need in to be into our society. They will give you a long time or long term membership. So it's for all your life. It's like a award or an honor to be part of this kind of society where they are basically highlighting any aspect of your residency or fellowship or academical achievement during your medical schools. And of course, it will help you also when you are doing an application afterwards. Unfortunately, we don't have that in other countries. I think the most of the medical schools from different parts of the world, they won't be part of this society. But here in the U.S., over 75% of the deans of the medical schools, they are part of the Alpha Omega Alpha Society. So that it's a good thing for you and for your career. I think it's a recognition that you're doing things well. It's good to be part of the society in the aspect that it will also give you the opportunity to uh, inspire more people to do that, to do excellence in research or excellence in academic skills or in community outreach, trying to strength basically whatever you're doing, residency, fellowship, or medical school.
Well, and it looks beautiful on your wall.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah,
It's just beautiful. Well, thank you so much for, giving us your valuable time. I really appreciate it. And I'm hoping to hear back from you about your award and hopefully we can work together in the future more also to help other IMGs and pay it forward, right?
sure, of
Okay.
course. Well, thank you very much for the interview and thank you for the questions. And I'm glad to help anyone. And if you want to contact me, probably you can share my LinkedIn or you can share also my Instagram page. Both of them, I'm going to reply. I don't have bots or anyone replying.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, wasn't that some great wisdom, insights, and encouragement from our panelists? I'm so grateful that they took the time to come and pour into your lives during this discussion. But it seems like there were some themes there. So let's do a little bit of a reflection on the themes that they were talking about. Number one is to, either, to celebrate your successes, no matter where you are in the process. Think about the little things that you have accomplished so far in your journey. So many IMGs never get to where you are now. So you should be proud of that and celebrate those milestones. Another thing that I heard them say is if you didn't get the outcome that you want, you have a choice now. You can continue down this path. They gave you some really good advice about after match possibilities. You can decide to go on to the next match cycle, or you could find a different alternative path. Several of there, at least two of them, kind of made some pivots. I think, no, I think all of them have made some pivots in their career based on some perceived failure, but actually it became a great opportunity to refocus and maybe go down a different path. And they're also happy with where it's turned out now. So keep encouraged for that. One of the things, though, no matter what you decide to do, is they were talking about networking, networking, networking. So your professional network can be so valuable no matter what choice you make for the next part of your professional journey. And they kept saying it over and over again. So, and that is that's one of the topics that I really have a lot of passion for, because I feel like some of the things that IMGs go through kind of hinge on how strong their professional networking is. And so I wanted to share some free resources and also some ways that you can continue to work with me as you go through this process. So, I want to introduce you to the IMG Match Success Hub. Our mission is to empower IMGs just like you with tools, strategies, and community support needed to excel in your residency journey. So, I wanted to show you this link down here first. So this is where you can go to get some free resources no matter where your journey is. You can go to houstonelp.com backslash resources and you can get all kinds of really great free resources there. But so that's the first thing I want to share with you today. So the other thing that I want to share with you tonight is if you think, "Oh, Simone, I'm not sure about my networking abilities. I'm not sure about, if I am putting forth the best version of myself in LinkedIn and other places." I want to invite you to the IMG Match Success Networking Challenge. So it is designed to expand your network and unlock residency opportunities. You can build real connections with physicians, mentors, and peers and strengthen your residency application and open doors. All of these things that you can do in the IMG Match Success Networking Challenge. So I know sometimes it's a struggle to make the right connections. Like, where do you start? How do you approach physicians, residents, or program directors? Do you know how to introduce yourself properly in a professional setting? Maybe it can feel confusing about how to ask for guidance, referrals, or letters of recommendation. And maybe you feel isolated. You don't have any clear path of even gaining U.S. clinical experience. And so this can be a game changer for you. You'll gain the tool, strategy, and practice to confidently connect with the right people, hopefully leading to U.S. clinical experience, mentorship, strong LORs, and eventually residency interviews. So here's what it includes. Working with me includes this plan. You will have an online, on-demand, self-paced course where you'll learn how to introduce yourself professionally and confidently, and you'll know where to find networking opportunities, both online and in person. I'll give you proven LinkedIn and email outreach templates to connect with mentors so you don't have to worry about like, where do I start? I'm going to help you kind of launch you into that direction and learn the right way to ask for USCE LORs and interview referrals. I get a lot of requests on LinkedIn, and some of them are cringeworthy. So obviously, this person does not know how to connect with someone online. So that's what I use from my experience. I say, okay, what is the right way to connect with someone on LinkedIn and further that process along. You will get live community support and coaching inside the IMG Match Success community. I host Thursday night Q&As. Live every other Thursday, so you'll get expert insights and personalized answers to your networking questions. We also have Talk Lab sessions every other Thursday, and so you can get practice conversations going with other IMGs, and that is a hosted event with me live every other Thursday. I also give office hours, and you can get peer support through our group chat. Even past that, if you decide you want personalized coaching, you can always connect with me and we can arrange that as well. Like elevator pitch coaching or a strategy session of if you're not sure about what to do next. So I would like for you to consider that in at this stage in your residency journey. Now, there are also bonus resources. You've got some courses in there and many, many other templates and resources that will get you where you want to be in residency, especially for your networking. And so here is the great deal for this. So the networking challenge is only $27 a month, although you can get it for $270 a year. And there's no obligation to keep going, but I suggest that you go for the $270 a year because you'll see once you get in there all the bonus courses about applications and interview practice, whether it's for residency or fellowship, and then also those professional communication skills that you might need to sharpen before you get into residency or fellowship. So I'm going to invite you to please, I'll give you the link and you can check it out. You can check out this page and consider it some more and join us. We have a really good time over there, a very supportive group of IMGs, and I personally am looking forward to connecting with you personally and walking beside you in this residency journey. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.